Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on the zone. Mr. Frazer Clarke joins me. What's happening, brother?
All good, my mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Recovering from a massive weekend of boxing. But first, I want to apologise, right? Because I messaged you the other day asking for a favour. You came back and said, "Bro, my missus has just given birth. So congratulations, but
Uh,
apologies."
no, literally, like probably an hour or a couple or two before you message, but you wasn't to know, bro. It's one of them, innit?
There's me asking you to predict Usyk Dubois whilst you're trying to look after your missus who's just given
Oh,
birth.
mate.
Apologies.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's been a busy weekend.
would I be right in saying that's number three?
Number three, mate. Yeah,
That's going to be a wild house in a few years.
yeah. It's already a wild ass, but it's all good. I love them.
Right, let's jump in with the big stories after Saturday night. First off, I know this has obviously been the biggest talking point of the last 24 hours. What have you made of this party footage that we're seeing emerge just hours
Oh,
before the fight on Saturday?
so I probably went about it. Like, I shared it to my story and just said, I said, if this is true, people should be ashamed of themselves. Yeah, that's what I said. That was like probably me being a bit rash, not thinking, and shared the story. And then this morning, I'm on the way to the gym. I've got Talk Sport on, and Don Charles is saying it wasn't a party; it was a gathering, which I didn't see as a party anyway. I thought it was a gathering because I didn't think. Surely no one's that stupid to throw a party, but a lot of people together, a gathering, a party, it's whatever you want to call it, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Now he's saying that that's the same thing they did before the AJ fight, which I can remember. I took my mind back. I can remember a few little bits of videos and this and that happening. And I suppose it is like it's whatever you like as a fighter. It's whatever you like. Now there seems to be a lot coming from people, but not from Daniel. Now I don't want to jump to any conclusions and say too much until Daniel has his say on it. For me personally, that wouldn't work for me, but I'm not him. And if it worked for a previous fight, like Don Charles said, why wouldn't you try and recreate that sort of environment going into another big fight? I can understand it, but for me, would it be a no go?
I mean, he turned up pretty much as Usyk was ready and waiting for his hands to be wrapped. Do you think that's poor judgment or overconfidence or just, like you said, the way they wanted to do things?
Again, you can only go on personal. Like, I'd rather be there an hour early than an hour late. Do you know what I mean? That's just me personally, because on on fight week, I'm a bit like OCD like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's get everywhere. And I'm talking, people worry about, oh, you don't want to be waiting about. It doesn't bother me. I just rather be in places on time. Do you know what I mean? So I like everything to run like clockwork. But I understand on these huge events, with it being in London as well at Wembley, sometimes it just isn't going to work like that. But me personally, I'd have been there earlier rather than later. Do you know what I mean? In a changing room, I'm used to it over the years. You can always get your head down for 10, 20 minutes. You won't put your earphones on, relax, whatever you want to do. But turning up late would give me the anxiety of I've got to be in a rush, and that's the last feeling you want. I can remember in Saudi, like I got to I got to the changing rooms, and I wanted my hands wrapped, but the guy that was wrapping my hand was also wrapping Eubank's hands, and so like I'm waiting for my hands to be wrapped, and he's wrapping Eubank's hand. Now I'm not saying that's the reason why, but it has a little bit of effect. You know what I mean? Like I say, a bit OCD. I like things to run smoothly. Do you know what I'm saying? So possibly that wasn't great for him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, a lot's been made of the party gathering, whatever you want to call it. Do you think it's just that small clip where you can see phones in Daniel's face, people saying, and the new undisputed,
Mm,
makes it look like whether they are or not, there's like a pre-celebration? Because I'm sure Daniel was
yeah.
sitting there thinking, right, let's have a party because I'm definitely beating Usyk tonight.
No, 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 no. Listen, Daniel is not. He's got to be realistic. You know, I think you knew the task. This is a man that's already beat you, so you know you've got a huge task on your hand. I don't care what confidence you've got from your last three, four fights, whatever. When you're going to get someone that's beat you, you know you've got to be on your A game, especially when you know the man that you're going in against. So I don't believe it was any of Daniel's doing, and that's what I'm hearing as well. Um, from the clip I seen, he looks kind of awkward. He looks kind of surprised. Now, I wonder how many of them people was at his house on Sunday afternoon. Um, and the thing is, they're probably a bit not to blame. They don't understand boxing. It might be a game to them. It might be, it's a big. it's the same on fight weeks. I get it myself. Obviously, completely different level to what Dubois was fighting at. But I get so many messages, so many people wanting to see you, this and that. And to them, it's a night out, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's a day out, it's a night out, it's a weekend out. To me, it's work. So I have to try and explain this, to even family members. Oh, we want to come and see you in the hotel, this and that. Go away. This is work. I'm trying to concentrate on my job. But again, it's whatever works for that individual.
Hmm. Yeah. Right, moving on to the fight itself. I know Tony Bellew, Derek Chisora, a couple of people have been quite critical and quite vocal, only when asked, I may add, about this. In simple terms, do you think he quit on Saturday night?
Um, it's a difficult one again. Like these questions. Remember, I like you say, I'm being asked this question. I'm not just jumping out and saying that. Do I think he quit? Only he will know. But what I will say is, I seen Tyson Fury get up from a fucking huge left hook against Deontay Wilder and go to the well. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm just saying, there's different humans, there's different individuals, and you can only speak about in that particular moment. If he thought he couldn't carry on, he couldn't carry on. But I don't know what's inside of him. For that to happen in that situation, he just looks so okay. Once he did get up, like where was the rush to get up? Like not the rush, but the car was like going, and you're hearing it get up. I don't like using the word quit, but if this has never happened to him before, I'd say nah, no chance. But it looks like a bit of a habit, don't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, in simpler terms, do you think he could have made the 10 count if he'd have wanted to? And the fight would likely have gone the same way it did, but could he have made the 10 count then if we're kind of not using that quit word?
I think so, but then again, he didn't, so maybe not.
What do you think he done wrong in the fight? That's
Oh,
not taken away from Usyk's brilliance, obviously.
yeah. I don't want to take too much. I think he was caught a bit surprised. I think just I think obviously you prepare for Usyk, and people talk about him being he moves so well. What Usyk does, he does basic stuff, but at an elite level. He just doesn't stand in front of you. So I think the fact that he wasn't on the back foot like they expected, and he was in his face, I think that shocked him a little bit. People say, "Oh, he needs to use his jab. He needs to use his jab." Well, this guy who you're fighting, he's such an amazing counter puncher. I think for me personally, I would have tried to not walk into him, but you got to make your feet fast. That high guard, high pressure, no single jabs at all. It'd be a double or a triple at least. But it's all right saying it's all hindsight, but I just think that shocked him first and foremost. Usyk wasn't running; he was running nowhere. Do you know what I mean? And he was firing some great shots in that. I think he loaded up a little bit. When them shots. When he's missing with some of them shots, or he's throwing shots and it was landing, but they're not having an effect. If them shots are landing, that's fantastic. But if they're not actually having an effect on the person you're fighting, and he's still in 100%, he's fine. It's not taking nothing out of him. It's taking a lot out of you. In the later rounds or even round five, your energy tank is going down, 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 down.
Yeah, I mean, let's take the questioning away from the bar a second. On to Usyk now. You've been sparring him, so you know better than anyone how good, if you can even explain to someone who doesn't have perhaps the expert
Mm.
eye that you've got, just how good is he?
Well, it was one of them for me. It's such a good experience, even though it was short lived. Obviously, because I actually went over there to train, and my missus had like a false, like a scare with the baby. Like we thought the baby was coming, so I had to come back, like just on a whim, just like I'll put my stuff in the bag, go to the airport, get a flight, and come back. So I was gutted, but I did manage to get one sparring session in there, and in that sparring session, there was myself and three other people that sparred with him, and we're all big guys, and we was given instruction to put it on him, stick it on him, and the one thing I noticed was like this guy wasn't run. He didn't run away. There was three or four huge, a lot bigger than him people. He didn't run away. He sort of stays there with you. I needed 3 rounds, yeah, and I was blowing out of my arse because it was the tempo of the rounds were like very high pace. You know what I mean? It's like almost like an amateur bout. But obviously, I'm doing 3 rounds getting out. I did the first three. He had another. I think he was doing 10 rounds that day, so he had another 7 rounds to go after that. But the pace was up here. if you were starting here, similar to like Dubois did him and I, he sort of started down here. Usyk was already in round 2 or 3. Do you know what I mean? It was very similar. I felt like the fight was very similar to when Dubois boxed AJ, and I felt like Daniel started like at a different level, and then you're trying to play catch up, but when you're getting shots in your face and on your body, it's hard to do that to bridge that gap. So I thought it was very similar to that.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the tempo. I was talking to Dave Allen last night. We done about 20 minutes, and he said from watching it ringside, it's probably the fastest tempo heavyweight fight that he's ever seen. From
Yeah.
fastest he's seen from an individual fighter in Usyk. Simple question: is he the GOAT? Is he number one?
Oh, yeah. I've been having this conversation with a few people. I mean, the in thing at the minute is the Mount Rushmore, innit? Stop drinking that sugary drink, man. It's gonna do your teeth. It's gonna do your teeth. Get rid of that shit.
Little Fanta green
Uh,
tea. I have just
no,
dusted off a 5K though, so
yeah, but I don't care. I'll get some water or some electrolytes. Don't leave me that. Easy to go.
he's on
Now,
Mount Rushmore, right? Of
yeah,
heavy.
I might. Yeah, if we're talking, so we're talking four.
Hmm. So, but I say Mount
Abs-
Rushmore definite, but is he
in
what?
heavyweight division, it's hard for me because I can't see past Muhammad Ali as not the number one. And now, I think when you talk about Muhammad Ali, a lot comes to what he represented. You know what I mean? Not just the boxing skill, but if we're talking pure, take all their accomplishments away, what they've done outside the ring, talking about boxing, he could have a shot for being number one. To be honest, I think. And that, like I say, it's a hard one. People are always going to disagree with that, but when you look at the way he does things and what he's done and who he's beat, he's definitely in the argument.
Yeah, well, he's definitely number one of our era. And you mentioned the things outside the ring. I suppose he has got that kind of activism around him, the way he represents Ukraine as well. So there is that, I don't want to say similarity to Muhammad Ali, but outside the ring, obviously, he's got that.
No, but there is. I mean, you talk about charisma, he's got it, mate. He's got like for someone who I feel like a lot of the guys. Oh wait, how can I word this right? Some of the foreign fighters, foreign to England fighters that come to England, they don't quite get it in terms of the language barrier. He's nailed that. Yeah, he speaks good enough English. The banter, he's nailed that. The political side of things with Ukraine, he's nailed that. Obviously for the right reasons. Worldwide, he just nailed. My nan loves him. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people that love him and can relate to him and respect what he does. Respect his religion, the way he praises God. Um,
He's
so
an
he
A-list
ticks all
celebrity.
the
Is that he's an A-list
yeah
celebrity?
yeah he's A-list and he ticks all the boxes. But even being an A-list celebrity, I feel like he's very relatable. Does that make sense? So yeah, he's definitely sounds like I'm licking his ass, but no, I'm just a huge fan of what he does. He's fantastic.
Mate, if you're going to be an arse lick to anyone, why not be to Oleksandr?
Yeah, he's a great fighter. Great fighter.
Also, I know you like a Stone Island. He's the king of Stone
Oh,
Island, isn't he?
mate, honestly,
That
God,
road is serious.
that was that. A lot of people have said like he wasn't losing. Walking out in that, you're not losing, are you? Do you know what I mean? No, it was brilliant. You know what I mean? I think he wears it well. Obviously, he gets all the. See me, I'm one of them guys. I'm still cheap. I buy last season stuff. He gets all the fresh stuff. You know what I'm saying? But no, he's got some naughty stony pieces. Even I've got a good little collection. But no, he's taking the piss.
Mate, you buy last season's, I buy mine off Vinton, so I wouldn't worry. Right, let's talk about you. British title next. I was
Yeah.
presuming again. I'll go back to speaking to Dave Allen. He said, "Look, Fraser gets the nod over me. He beat me, albeit a few years ago. I respect that. I was thinking you and TKV. You don't seem to think it's going to be TKV now.
Oh, so I've got to be careful what I say because I keep getting in trouble. I keep getting in trouble. Um, I've heard from sources it's not going to be TKV. That's what I've heard from sources. So I was just reiterating that yesterday when I did the interview with the ring. I'm not saying it's not. My honest where I'm at now is I don't know who it's going to be, and I couldn't give a shit. Like I said, I said them other two names. Who did I say?
Nick Webb and Sol Dakin.
Nick Webb and Solid. So, like I just threw that out there. Possibly it could, possibly it couldn't. Sol had a good win the other day. Nick Webb had a good win recently. I think he beat Courtney Bennett. Um, I'm just pulling them names out of fresh air. Do you know what I mean? But I hope it is TKV. You know, I think we've had a little bit of a rivalry for a long time, but now I think we've got respect for each other now. You know, I think there's nothing personal there now. It's all respect. He messaged me congratulations on the birth of my daughter the other day. I sent him a little voice note back and just said, "Oh, I appreciate that, Jamie. Train well. You know, stay healthy, and we'll see each other in a couple of months, I imagine." So yeah, I've got full respect for him. I'm not asked who it is, but I would like it to be TKV. I think it makes sense. We're both with Boxer. It's a good fight, so I don't see why not. But to be honest, I just don't know.
To your knowledge, because I'm referencing an interview Charlie done with Eddie in Dallas, where he kind of said he was a bit pissed off at Ben Shalom. He said there was a bit of a hold when he believed, Eddie, that TKV had said yes to Dave Allen. Is there anything in your knowledge? Do you know about TKV saying, "All right, me and Dave, let's go"? Like,
So I had a little,
see
I had a little conversation with Eddie on Saturday night, of course. I didn't like the way he said, what did he say? He said, "Oh, Fraser got spandangled by Fabio." Like, I just think you fucking cheeky twat. If a normal person said that to me on somewhere else to me and forget who he is, I'd grab him by his windpipe and squeeze. Do you know what I mean? So I just find some of them things a little bit mad. But obviously, you have to be thick skinned in this. But Eddie explained to me that TKB had signed to fight Dave Allen. The truth in that, I don't know. You know, I'm not involved in them conversations. Um, but when he said he's given Ben 48 hours to get this sorted, like who the fuck is he? Final boss or what? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just said, I was just pissed off because I thought Eddie's got a big influence on boxing, British boxing. There's no doubt about it. But I just thought if you mess up my opportunities through your influence, then I'm gonna be super pissed myself. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, everyone like, uh, but he said like he said your position is your position. Now whatever else happens with anyone else, I don't care. I just care about my position and what I'm gonna do. Um, I want to become British champion. I want to be in good fights. God willing, that happens.
Do you think he said it kind of out of frustration then when he said what he said about Fabio and
Yeah, yeah, he's fucking listen. It's words, isn't it? Who cares? But probably out of frustration. Like I said, I've got a good relationship with Eddie. I've known him for like quite some years. He's always been okay to me. You know, always looked after me with a ticket for the fight for the fights and that for the shows. So I've got no real problem with him. But he's a businessman. He's probably just thinking in my head, I'm thinking, oh, he thought he was getting TKV for cheap, and he's got an obligation for Dave Allen to fight someone. Now he's probably thinking he's gonna have to pay someone a little bit more money to come and fight Dave. Do you know what I'm saying? That's probably where it is. I mean, now Dave's shouting, was it Luis Ortiz that he wanted to fight? Did I hear him call him out the other day?
I mean, he said on Instagram that he wanted to fight Luis Ortiz. I don't know if he was being serious, but I know a lot of the comments people were saying, Dave, he was old when you fought him, now he might be in his.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, where is he? He's probably in old people's home, man. But as far as Dave's concerned, like I said, me and Dave had a good conversation a few weeks ago and sort of ironed out a few creases, and there's a little bit of like tarnish, after we fought each other. But like I said, I wish Dave all the best, and I'm not sure who he's going to fight. But obviously he wants a good name, to headline in Sheffield, which I understand. And TKV would have bridged that gap, for the British title, but. The board decision is the board decision, and I believe it's the right one. They might not, but I believe it's the right one.